No intro. I went to a place called On the Border. I went to Chili's a couple of days ago, and a bunch of people in the comments across my socials were like, you never been to On the Border? It's right around the back. I didn't even realize it was there. So there's a place called On the Border that's literally on the other side of the Chili's. It's on the same building. They're connected. So I went there and I wanted to try. I've never had this. I've just never been a fan of like those chain Mexican places especially, but we're gonna do it for the one time just to see what's hitting on. Drop a thumbs up, man. You guys already know what it is. Let's see what we got. I've never had this before, so I picked 3 things off the popular menu. So I guess you got some chips here. I'm guessing it comes with chips and salsa. So we got chips. We have a chimichanga, comes with rice and beans. I only got 2 entrees, so I don't know what the hell I'm getting. Here we go. And then this is supposed to be what they call their Gran Papi. Yes, that's the real name. And the Gran Papi, which comes with I don't know what the hell is all in here, to be honest. Looks like a beef taco, a quesadilla, empanadas. I believe this is a taquito, and I'm not sure what the one over here is. Also rice, guac, and pico. So that is what's on the agenda today. I also did get a dessert I'll show y'all before we get into this. This is a tres leches cake. This came out to $47 for all of this. I think you get a lot of food, so it's really not that bad as far as food goes, but let's see if it's actually any good. I'm gonna start off, I got so much food here, man. I'm gonna start off with this chimichanga. I got the steak, and the toppings on it is chili, like chili con carne. I should have used my knife. I'm about to pick this damn thing up in a second. I'm trying. Okay, these plastic, this ain't gonna cut it. Let me cut this. That took me a painfully long time to cut this chimichanga in a plastic container in a car. Probably not the best, but this is the steak version. You can see there's a piece of steak on the inside. I'm definitely gonna try to get in here after this first bite though. Nope. I bet y'all think I don't like this. I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of good. Let me make sure I get a big piece over here. But the chili, it's got a little spice to it. I like that. And if you don't know what a chimichanga is, it's a deep fried burrito. Deep frying anything is gonna make it better. But the steak, while it isn't the most flavorful on its own, it's not chewy. It's actually pretty tender. And the burrito is really crispy. I'm sorry. This is pretty good. With the spice from the chili, again, like on a heat level, I'd give it maybe like a 5. It's not crazy spicy, but it's got enough spice. Suburban spicy, I like to call it. I would not have a problem with this. It also has, I'm getting in here real quick. So there's just rice and cheese on the inside. This is good. I'm not gonna lie. Let me try this Mexican rice. Looks like there's a piece of corn on the inside. That's pretty average, but again, it's really not that bad. I'm talking on a chain restaurant scale, by the way. I wouldn't compare this to like real Mexican food, but then we got some refried beans. Yeah, those are awful. Those are pretty bad. Those are pretty bad. The chimichanga though, I would rock with that. Like, I might keep this. The total platter, I would give a 7 out of 10. But the chimichanga itself, when I'm rating against other chain restaurants, I'd give this an 8.5, and I would order it again. It's a lot better than I thought it would be. All right, let's try this Gran Papi. I'm just gonna eat these one by one and see what's going on. You had a choice between crispy or soft beef taco. I got the beef. It comes with cheese, tomatoes, and lettuce. For people who don't know, I don't like lettuce. I just don't think it adds anything personally, other than like wet. That's just a personal thing. It's all right. Honestly, I would compare it to a better version of like a Taco Bell taco. The ground beef is a lot less mushy than other places, so there's some texture to it. And you got a little bit of cheese, and you have the tomato, the shell. Again, I'm in the parking lot. It's still a little soggy, but those kind of shells get soggy anyway. Let's do it with the queso. I'm not mad at it. I'm not happy with it, but I'm not mad at it. Let's do a quesadilla. I'm guessing this is like a half of one, and it looks like a cheese quesadilla. That tastes like every other, like Chili's, you name it. There's just cheese on here, but let's try it with this guac and this pico. That guac is not good at all. Guac has no flavor, it just tastes like avocado. So there's not much going on with it. Then we have an empanada. Again, I have no idea what is inside of this because I just picked the one meal called the Gran Papi. So let's see. Ground beef and cheese. It's okay. The empanada's crispy. The beef has no texture. There's more cheese than beef, but this is just in that I'm not mad category. It doesn't really have much flavor besides the beef and cheese, meaning there's no seasoning outside of that. So, it's decent. Also falls in that I wouldn't be mad. This whole thing basically is I wouldn't be mad at it category. And then we have, this is a chicken. So we've got a chicken taquito. There's something else in here too. It's like a sour cream chicken and taco seasoning combo. Again, I'm not expecting like knock your socks off flavor, but this is good. This is good. Oh, wow. Then we have what I think is an enchilada, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna try to cut this down the middle. It has a jalapeno in the top, and it's not seeded, which means they said, if you don't like spicy food, live on the edge today. I laugh at places like this because I did go inside. The decorations are pretty like, you know, what you would think this kind of place is. I've never really been to like, I think I went to Chevy's once when I was a kid. This chicken looks a little dry on the inside. This chicken is a little dry on the inside. It's a little dry. It's funny because the taquito mix isn't as dry. But this, it's real chicken. Almost looks like they pulled it off the bone, or maybe they bought it that way. I'm not 100% sure. But that has like the negative flavor, which is crazy. Oh yeah, I can see it inside. Hold on, let me just. Yeah, that sucks. The jalapeno is actually not seeded and it's spicy for a jalapeno. But this came out to $16. You get a pretty decent amount of food, like a sampler. I'm not really mad at it. The only thing that I would get from here that I really liked was this taquito. So let's run down the ratings. The taco, I give a 6 out of 10. The quesadilla is very average, a 5 out of 10. Empanada, I give a 6 out of 10 as well. The taquito, I think it's a taquito, could be a flauta. I'm not 100% sure. I like that. I would give that an 8.5 out of 10. And that, I think that's an enchilada. I would give a 3 out of 10. The only thing saving it was the jalapeno kind of woke me up a little bit. I'm going to try the Mexican rice again on this one though, just because it's here. It just tastes like when you buy the packaged ones, they have Spanish rice from like Rice-A-Roni and stuff like that. That's what it really reminds me of. I don't dislike it, but it's definitely none of this is something I'd go on me to order. Other than that first thing, which is that chimichanga. So we get some chips and queso here as well. So I might as well just dig into one of those. Even though I did try the queso, I want to try. All right, I'm not mad at that. Got the queso. This is supposed to be their signature queso. This is like their most popular thing, apparently. So we go. Queso. You know I'm a queso person. That's okay. It's okay. They got some vegetables in here, almost like Rotel, it looks like. It tastes like Rotel dip. I love Rotel dip. Again, something that's super easy to make and most people make for like parties and stuff. If you gave me this queso right here with the chimichanga and maybe the little taquito roll up, I'd have to find a side, even though I can't really find one. I could eat here. I wouldn't necessarily know if I could. But first, let's try this. Hold on right quick. I didn't see this in the bag when I went to get my cake. There's salsa in here as well. This looks and smells exactly like the Chili's one. I'm just personally not a fan of these types of salsas. If you watch my videos, you'll rarely, if ever, see me eating jarred salsa because I just don't like the... It just tastes like cold tomatoes to me. Like, there's no other flavor in this. This one has a little kick, but not much else. I'm much more of a pico guy. I didn't try this pico by itself because it's with the guac, so I'm gonna give it another go with this pico. Pico, there you go. Can y'all see that? My face is in the way? That's cool. That's okay. Could use a little lime, but it's fresh, so I'm not necessarily mad at that. The chips and salsa, I'd give a 3 out of 10. But if you like those kinds of places like Chili's when they serve you the chips and salsas, I'd never eat it. So you'd like that, especially if you want it a little spicier. Last, we have this tres leches cake. I had to look at my receipt and do a double take when I looked at this. Yes, I'm looking at it right here. This is in fact a tres leches cake. It looks nothing like a tres leches cake, and I've never seen tres leches with a strawberry on the top. Normally there's a pool of something on here because that's the tres leches part of the cake, but I don't see it here. And there's also in the middle a layer of frosting, which this looks more like just some like regular white cake. But let's try it. Y'all need to. I'll fix my damn hat on that one. Back here. Let me gather my thoughts real quick. How do I say this nicely? This is the exact opposite. This tastes like regular white cake. Like, again, I had to do a double take. Maybe they just swapped the cake out, but it's dry. And it just has regular white frosting on it. I don't have any of that stuff. Maybe this isn't the right cake, but it's what I ordered, and it's what's on the receipt. So, I'm operating under the assumption that it is. It doesn't taste bad if it's just a regular cake. It just tastes like a very dry cake, which would probably be like a 4 out of 10. But since this is supposed to be a tres leches, if I'm grading it on that, tres leches has a very sweet, condensed milk, evaporated milk kind of flavor to it. This has none of that, like 0. So I'm going to grade this 2 different ways so I can be fair. If I was grading this as a regular white cake, it'd still be not good, and it's a 4 out of 10. If I'm grading this as a tres leches cake, it's like a -3. Respectfully out of 10, because it's just, there's nothing about it that's tres leches, like nothing. It's just a cake. If I went to the restaurant and sat down and they brought this out, I'd probably start laughing. Like, it'd be one of those things. And it costs like $8. I wouldn't be mad if it was a regular cake. I'd probably just eat it. But that's me being fair. This chimichanga had me in the first half. I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was gonna be like, oh wow, this is actually really good. At this point, you might as well go to Chipotle. Actually, Chipotle's, yeah, I'd rather go to Chipotle. And Chipotle is my least favorite of the sub chains or the burrito chains, and I'd rather go there. But this chimichanga isn't bad, so I'm gonna lay into that a little bit. What do I think of On the Border? It tastes like what I thought of when I think of Mexican chain restaurants, just very bland on the grand scale of things, and not a place I would eat at. When you go to like a Chili's or other sit-down restaurants, a burger is a burger. Like, I can work with that. But this, it's hard to work with flavorless beans. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to work with flavor. Like, that's just me being real. So, I wouldn't go out and wait for this chimichanga. I would rather, like, I'm staring at Chili's right now. I'd rather be at Chili's. So, that's what I think about it. If I was rating this out of 10, on a chain restaurant scale, I would give it a 4. I wouldn't go there. There's just way better chains, and there's like 3 right by me. I do want to talk about something before I get out of here. This isn't going to be a long-winded topic because I feel like we've touched on this like 3 out of the last 4 days. And it has to do with tipping. This is more of an announcement just in case, because I know there's some people that get really upset about tipping and stuff like that. I completely, this isn't what I'm here to talk about. I went to On the Border today and I placed my order on the app for pickup, right? I drove there and picked up my stuff. But I noticed when I was placing the order that they put the tip on the check without me even looking at it. Like, when I went to the checkout cart, and after I put my card information in, it had a 15% tip tacked on that I had to actually look for and be like, how did it come out? Because when I saw the check, it said $47. I looked and it was like, you know, like almost 60. And I'm like, tax ain't that much. So I scrolled up and real small, it was like tip optional, but it was already on there. Like normally when you go to restaurants, it will have a prompt there so you can put how much you want to put, but this one threw it in there already. I know people, myself included, are like pretty money conscious. So just be aware that certain restaurants are not even asking, they're just doing it. I tip them anyway because I tip at every restaurant, but I know from a person to person standpoint that some people are like staunchly against that. This is more me just trying to tell y'all before you walk in there and start yelling that some places are doing this. This is the first time I've run across this. And again, I order food 6 times, 5 times a week. So I do this all the time. I rarely have ever seen where it was like hidden and I had to like go back because they put me right to just place order. They didn't even show it. So, we talked about the tipping stuff. I'm not going to beat a dead horse when it comes to that. We pretty much know how I already feel. If you don't, you can watch yesterday's video. Me and Sam talked about it for like 20 minutes, or you can watch the video that was with Chili's, which I talked to myself about it. Pizza Hut, I'm sorry. It was the Pizza Hut video where I myself talked about it for like another 10 minutes. So I don't want to go into that, but I just wanted to make people aware. This is just me looking out for you because I know some people, y'all get mad with stuff like that, and rightfully so, because whatever. But that's gonna be the end of the video. It's really hot outside in this parking lot. So my car can't be on because I'll start sweating. But I love y'all, man. My camera's starting to overheat too. It literally just happened. I can see the little indicator. But I love y'all, man. Thank you so much for watching. This was a one and done for me. I'm not going back to On the Border. I'm always honest about this stuff. I came around to Chili's. I came around to certain other places, but this one ain't for me, chief. Y'all can see, like. But we'll be back tomorrow. More content, man. The hand signs, they made it to YouTube.